and welcome to the first episode of Lore Drop. I'm Andrew, the Dungeon Master of Chasing Tales. In this series, I'm going to cover the lore and history of the homebrew setting of Yvantos, where our adventures take place. If you've joined us for even one episode of Chasing Tales, you will have heard mention of the Bloodborne, the gods of the setting. The story of their origin is the beginning of intelligent life across the material plane, and so this is where we shall begin. The following information is taken from the historical works of the elf Dorentia Ulnara, the prime archivist of Illingan. Before life knew to count the passing of time, the plains were a maelstrom of elemental energy. As eons crept by, frigid winds calmed raging flames, and coursing water ground hard stone to fertile earth. In the calming convergence of energy, the land we now know as Yvantos was formed. From the residual energy, beasts and plants were born, and were the first to call Yvantos home. In the centre of this burgeoning paradise, a tall monolith towered above the landscape, with something shifting inside. One day, the monolith split. Fanciful tales speak of how thunder that rocks the sky today is merely an echo of this great explosion. From within the monolith emerged a creature of gargantuan proportions, born of the combined elemental energies and tempered lands themselves, the Wanderer. A mighty pangolin-like creature with deep azure scales flew from the rubble into the sky. Clumsy, on newborn legs, the Wanderer tore its tender underside on the jagged remains of the monolith, and as it flew from its birthplace, ascending into the stars on its cosmic journey, blood spattered the land below. From the pools of blood that soaked into the earth, we emerged. Where blood struck stone and ore, dwarves and giants rose. Where the blood soaked through earth and leaves, humans and elves stood. Where a soft scale fell through the air, the first dragons took wing. The first of each kin to emerge, most generously imbued with the magic of the Wanderer, became the shepherds of their kind. These leaders were known as the Bloodborne. Life flourished in this wild world, with communities and civilization rising into prosperity. Death, however, held much graver prospects. No afterlife waited for the souls of the past, and darker, hungrier forces gladly welcomed them. The plains of hell and the dark abyss thrived uncontested as the souls of the dead flowed freely from Yvantos. One day, a soul managed to escape the hungry jaws of hell, clawing its way back to Yvantos. It told the Bloodborne of the horrors that awaited all after death. People despaired learning of the fate of those that they had lost. The Bloodborne came together, wielding their magic to create a safe harbour for the souls of the dead. They crafted sanctuary, carving out a space on the moon above where they would shepherd the dead as they once had for the living. It is above, on the silver sea, the moon, where the Bloodborne now reside as deities, protecting the souls of their kin from the myriad of malevolent forces that hunt them. Take care to not confuse the Silver Sea, the moon, with the Silverrun Sea, which is just that, a sea. On Yvantos, the human races were left to fend for themselves. Life became harder, but peaceful afterlife was assured for those that stayed true to the ways of their Bloodborne. And that will conclude our first episode of Lore Drop. If you enjoyed this little peek into the history and mythos of our fantasy world, be sure to like and share, follow and subscribe. I would like to thank the wonderful folks at the Cognitive Merchant for their ongoing support. Be sure to check them out in the links in the description for awesome bespoke leather, tabletop RPG and LARP gear. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you Thursday at 6 for the next episode of Chasing Tales, and next week for the next Lore Drop, where we shall raid the history books for the story of the Children of the Sun. Thanks for watching. Bye.